This is another Sunday morning. I have an issue I want to address. I'm a big fan of us preserving our language, preserving our culture and our identity. I believe our identity comes first before any other thing. Our language, culture and identity comes first before any other thing. I've told my Igbo brothers, leave the Yorubas alone. The Lagos state government says they want to use their language for most activities in the Lagos government and civil service and some of the things they do. And I heard that my Igbo people are taking the Lagos state government to court. Taking the Lagos state government to court because they want to use language, Yoruba language, for instruction in their schools, in the civil service, and most of their activities. They will have interpretation, no? Not that they are going to use just Yoruba. They will have to interpret it officially. There will be a Yoruba document and there will be an English document for other people. Then somebody is taking them to court and it has to be an Igbo person. Why is it that when they want to do dirty jobs, if they want to give Igbos a bad name, they are using Igbos? Why is it so? Abia state government said they were going to use Igbo for instruction in schools. Abia state governor Alex Oti said so. Nobody spoke ill against him. Nobody took him to court. We know that we don't have much Yorubas in that state. But you see, our culture, identity and language needs to be preserved. That is the most important thing. Know it and know it that Lagos is not for Igbos. Lagos is a Yoruba land. Whether it belonged to the Benin or Portuguese or whatever, that was then. Some people must own a land at a particular point in time. Yorubas are the owner of the land. And let us not do things that will cause, I don't know, why would somebody go to the extent of suing the Lagos state government? Even though you have the right to do so, you are creating an impression, a very, very bad impression at that. How many of our Igbo children can speak the language, including me? I can speak, but I'm not that eloquent. I've started reading literature, Igbo literature. I've started speaking the language so that I'll be accustomed to it, because language is most important. Wale Soyinka, Chino Achebe, they said something that if you want to be a fluent in English, if you want to understand English language, you must first understand your native language. They were English professors, but they could write in their native language. Chino Achebe could write in Igbo. And also, Wale Soyinka could write in Yoruba. How many of our professors, young professors today, or people that studied mass communication or English, how many of them can write in their own native language? And you are using the language of your colonial master for instruction. We should be able to speak 70% of our language every day. Courses like biology, chemistry and physics, some terminologies, we should use our language, replace some terminologies. We should update and upgrade our language. If we don't do so, we will lose our identity, we will lose our culture. When I listen to radio, some people are speaking Queen's English, but you cannot speak your language, and you identify as a Nigerian, as a Yoruba, as an Igbo. So what is wrong with Lagos state government using Yoruba for instruction? Let's not be stupid. Let us not be stupid. Lagos belongs to the Yorubas. I have said it and I will say it over and over again. There's nothing you can do about it. We have Igbo. We have the Southeast to work on. We have the Southeast that is our own. I've asked the Ohaneze, is there any central literature on Igbo history written by the Igbo people? What efforts are you making to preserve our culture, our language and heritage? How many of our people how many of them can speak the language? How many of them? You see, the Yoruba people, most Yoruba families that are even educated, that can speak English, they make sure they instruct their children on the Yoruba language. And because somebody, so you people still think that Lagos is no man's land. No, don't look at Lagos. So today politics has changed. History has changed. History has changed. Imagine if it were Igbos that were Yorubas in Lagos, or if you are Igbos, like it's a Southeastern state, maybe like Enugu state, then Enugu state government says that we want to use Igbo for, because it seems that we are losing ourselves. Let's preserve our language. We use Igbo for instruction. We also interpret in English. Then a Yoruba person or an Hausa person will not take the Enugu state government to court. Or they will not be telling you that Enugu is no man's land because it was the former federal capital territory, or they use federal government money to build Enugu. Did they beg anybody to use federal government money to build Lagos? These were politicians playing politics. The politics that Nnamdi Azikiwe played destroyed the Igbos. The politics that he played destroyed the Igbos. He wanted to be called Zik of Africa. You really did not focus on the Southeastern region, but you were trying to move towards the Western region to be claiming what? Secession clause that even if it were there, it would be easier for Nnamdi Kanu and co. to have called on Biafra and everyone will go their separate ways. The same Igbo man that caused it. People are trying to preserve their own language. You are taking the Lagos state government to court. Focus on the Southeast. Leave the Southwest alone. Leave the Southwest alone. That is why you see some of these Yoruba people will just cook up conspiracy theories that Igbos want to take over their land. Igbos are not want to take over anybody's land. At least, the last time I checked, Igbos don't invade your land and kill people and kidnap people. They don't take your land by force. They don't go to farmlands and destroy your crops. They don't stay in the forest. When they come, they legitimately rent a house, buy a land, build a house, rent a shop, and do their business. There's regulation. I go on the streets every day. I see our local government going about collecting taxes. Some of them even prefer Igbos to even occupy their plaza, their building, because those ones they pay. So we are not. The quote of expansionism is that they say Igbos or Nnamdi Azikiwe wanted to expand Igbo empire in the Southwest. My brother, I've told you, most of the things that these politicians do, they are not the ideology of the people they seem to represent. Nnamdi Azikiwe was operating on his own volition. When Ojukwu called for the Biafra war, how many people followed Nnamdi Azikiwe? If he really had the backing of the people, how many people followed Nnamdi Azikiwe, his advice against that of Ojukwu? How many people are even do that? How many Igbos respect Nnamdi Azikiwe? They almost curse him every day in the Southeast. They don't recognize him. It is some political actors that are trying to play politics to recognize Mazi and this guy Azikiwe, Nnamdi Azikiwe. So the people are detached from the leaders. So I don't even realize, I don't even have, as an Igbo man, I don't even have any intention of expansionism. I go to our Umna meetings, we discuss, nobody has any what some Yorubas are saying that Igbos want to take over. Nobody has any plan anywhere, I can say it, take over Lagos. But some people will just open their mouth and say all sorts of rubbish. Look at Ladikon now with all the gra. They have renamed the plaza with the Yoruba name. We are guests in Lagos. It seems you don't know that regionalism is taking place before your eyes. You don't know that everybody is guarding their territory. The Southwest, they are guarding their territory. They are telling this is our territory because it seems everybody has an agenda. You go to that, you are sitting down there, you open your eyes, wow. Before you know, you leave your house, you start dragging with another person's house where you have not secured your home. Get involved in Southeast politics. If you are doing business in Lagos, do your business. Be interested in what is happening in the Southeast and what the governors are doing and what your local government chairmen are doing. How I'm very, very interested in how we can preserve our history, our culture and identity. Ask an average Igbo man the history of the Igbo people. Out of 100%, less than 10% know about the history of the Igbo people. Why? As a Yoruba person, Out of 100%, 60% no. Because it is like a cultural thing. They pass it from one generation to another through their language. You cannot be speaking English, wearing white English clothes and everything, and expect that we still claim to be Igbo people. You are actively destroying your identity, your culture and heritage by speaking somebody else's language without acknowledging your own. So an Igbo person, somebody wants to preserve his language. I know they may be doing it for political reasons. That's their business. Because since APC Ronu came into power, they have been trying every way to prevent what happened 2023 to repeat itself. If I want to even talk on whether why is it now that these people have woken up, just want to use Yoruba for instruction and everything, most of us understand Yoruba very well. So if it's to hide information from particular persons and people, there are people that are willing to interpret the Yoruba to the Igbos in Lagos. If they are doing for political purposes, it's not my problem, because I know that what Labour Party did in Lagos, they have vowed that it will never ever repeat itself again. They have vowed what Labour Party did in Lagos. They have vowed that it will never ever. So the reasons why I believe some of these people are carrying out these actions is because of some of this banter. Lagos is no man's land. We have bought the land, finished. Igbos own 60% of the houses in Lagos. They own 80% of. The reasons why they are doing this is because of that. Not that they genuinely. I have followed some social media handles and I've traced them back 10, 15 years ago to know what they were saying on their social media handle. Very few of them have been talking about the Yoruba culture, Yoruba identity and history. Very few of them. Many of them that you see talk today, they are just coming in because of politics. They are doing what they are doing, you understand? But at that, let's look at the very, very important issue. We must preserve our culture and tradition. Lagos is not no man's land. When the Yoruba Bini came into Lagos, he knew what they told him. This one is not those years. See, things have changed. Let us understand that things have changed. You cannot just, like what is happening in the Southeast. Okite, our Omenala, Okite is not part of it. People just introduce evil into our culture. How many young people know that this is not Omenala? Some native doctors will just come and start doing all sort of rubbish in Anambra State and other places in the Southeast, which is not part of the culture. As if we had our youngsters well versed on the culture. Those that are not in the Southeast, though, those that are not in Southeast are more than those that are in the Southeast. The population of Igbos that is not in the Southeast are more. These are people that we need to have literature, books that defines the Igbo language, Igbo culture, and Igbo heritage. We need to also make sure our schools make it popular. Make sure that our identity, you see, when you walk around, you hardly see somebody wearing an Ishiagu. Last time I did something like that, I wore my cap. Somebody's asking me, are you Omenala? Omenala. I'm from Isukwato. Ahabaime. If you're a man born in that village, you are born into that Omenala. There's a day, 31st of December, the last day of every year. There's what is a festival we do, a cultural day that we do. Every man must wear that, and I must be able to wear it at every single point in time. You go around the street, you see people wear Hausa cap, Yoruba cap, but you hardly see people wear Igbo cap. You don't know what that wearing it every day, sampling it every day, creates an impression in the minds of people. Now, if you wear that Ishiago and move on the street, some people will be looking at it. Is this from fashion? Because they don't used to see it every day. But when you wear the Hausa cap, now, they see it as normal. Some people see it as fashion, good fashion. Some people want to try it because some people, they keep on wearing it over and over again. They repeat that attire. They repeat it. They wear it in school. They wear it at office. They wear it when they are doing contract. They wear it at the House of Assembly. They wear it at Senate and House of Rep every time. But how many people are done their Igbo attire, which is not even in Aba that I went to? How many people are done their Igbo attire? Don't you know that when the Igbo attire gives a kind of symbolism, a kind of preservation of the culture, what people see every day, is what they imitate. Why can't we get Igbo designs and whatever and wear? Yorubas are doing it, the Hausas are doing it. But you have not preserved your culture. Your culture is drifting away. You think that we have people that okay, stay there and say we have people that know about the culture, we have people that know about the culture, blah blah blah. Most of the things that Africans knew, the inventions that Africans knew, died with some of these our Africans. There are some native doctors that knew some cure to some things. They died with the knowledge because we know we preserve. We have people that know about this. Are you part of them? They die with the knowledge, and the knowledge is lost and long forgone. They are not able to pass that knowledge. They are not able to document that knowledge. The reason why you think that the Europeans, the Western people, the Western world is ahead of us is because they document their history. What they do, they put it in books. But we Africans, timidity. We don't put our history in books. That's why somebody will just come and say, I remember when I went to this particular Mongo Park will tell you that he found River Niger. He met people at that River Niger. We now write it in a book. He found the River Niger. Because we refuse to preserve our culture and heritage. Lagos State, it is your right for you to use your language anyhow you want to use it. So far there's an interpretation. It will help us also learn the language. Let the Igbo counterparts do the same thing. When I go to the East or listen to reports from the East and I see them using Igbo, I will take the pain of understanding my own language. If they speak, I understand. If it's an article, if it's written, I will take the pain of learning how to read, because all these years you have been using our colonial masters' language for instruction. Most of these things, parallelogram in mathematics, do you have an Igbo or Yoruba word for parallelogram? Do you have an Igbo word for nucleus? Do you have an Igbo word for most of the words we use in teaching our students? Don't you know that every time the Oxford Dictionary upgrades its vocabulary? Do we know our language so well that we can upgrade it? You're not saying, my brother, shut down there. Lagos belongs to Yorubas. If you want to know, go and become an Oba in Lagos now. If you want to know, go and become a Lagos State governor. If you want to know, should be the last time we had Igbos in the Lagos State House of Assembly. Now, because of all these stupendous, see, most times it's not gra-gra. Most times you are tactical. If you are doing your business as an Igbo man, you don't do gra-gra most times. You are being calculative. Let that use that the same tactic when you are handling people. Be calculative, not gra-gra. You are suing the Lagos State government and you are an Igbo person. How does it look to you now? If you have hatred for the Yorubas, that's your problem. That's your own problem. Love yourself first. That energy I use it to hate somebody, use it to love yourself. And when I finish loving myself, then I can look at somebody. I've not finished loving myself. Look at what's happening in the Southeast. Look at how we are backward politically. Look at how things are just going left, right, and center in the Southeast. You have not kept your house in order. You are looking for somebody else's house. It's very unfortunate that Igbos have invested a lot in Lagos and they have not invested a lot in the Southeast. They are investing their resources, their creativity and time in the Southwest Nigeria, and they are taking the glory every time NBS report this, report that. Tax this one, whatever. Who are the ones paying the tax? It is not only the Yoruba people that are paying the tax. Both the Igbo and other tribes are also paying the tax. They have population to their advantage and will make it so Why can't we also now focus on making our own a pride of? We love what the governors, Enugu State and also Abia State, they are doing. We love this kind of competition. Fix all the infrastructures, make the place conducive for people to come in and do their business. Find a way that will harness the potentials of people in that state, our resources, and also fight politically that we should have resource control. Then everybody will start managing what they have. The Oyibo people, they knew that Nigeria's resources can sustain Nigeria to become another Japan. And even the Southeast. If you allow the Southeast work with the intellect, with the determination, the spirit they have, they will make the Southeast another Japan. But we have people, you are going to fight for that person's property and land. Okay, because they built ports there. They built port there. Would it end by the port? Why don't you find a way of playing the same politics and be wise and calculative in what you are doing, and also let the attention be shifted to the Southeastern Nigeria? So I'm not in support. Lagos State should use Yoruba and also interpret it for other people that are living in Lagos State. Lagos State should use Yoruba. Abia State should use Igbo. Kano State should use Hausa and interpret it. We are moving towards another segment, another phase of Nigerian history, of Nigeria as a country, another phase. So get prepared for that phase. We are not going to remain like this forever.